All right, everyone. I want to say good morning and thank you for joining us for today's webinar on behalf of the California Department of Veterans Affairs with the CalTAP program and in partnership with College of the Canyons. We'd like to welcome you to today's webinar regarding navigating employment services. My name is Derek Rose, and I serve as a training coordinator for the California Transition Assistance Program. We have a lot of great information that we're going to be sharing with you today in relation to not only employment services offered to veterans and possibly their family members in the state as well, but also an overview of what the CalTAP program has to offer, as well as a overview of some California-specific veterans benefits that are offered here in the state of California. So we have a lot of information to cover in a relatively short period of time. So thank you for all of your time and joining us today, and we're excited to bring you this information. So before we begin and get started for today's webinar, I just want to go over some brief housekeeping items. As far as the agenda goes today, like I said, we're going to be covering just an overview of CalTAP, what the program has to offer. And then we're going to have one of our regional Southern California representatives with Calvet speak a little bit more about the work that they do locally in the Southern California region. And then we are joined by some of our guest speakers with College of the Canyons and the Veterans Peer Access Network, as well as Work for Warriors. So I have a lot of partners on this webinar today and a lot of great information and resources to share. After the webinar has concluded, we are going to give some time for a virtual Q&A panel. We do ask that you utilize that Q&A tab feature on your toolbar to submit any questions to any one of our panelists. So if you use that toolbar, each panelist can kind of see that question and maybe the appropriate subject matter expert can answer that question for you. You can submit those throughout the presentation, or you can hold those off until the end. Either way is fine. But on our end, we're going to be using the chat feature to send you some links and resources as we're going along. But if you have questions, please use the Q&A tab. We do also ask that if you are not a panelist or a presenter, to just please keep your cameras turned off and your microphones muted. This just helps eliminate some of the bandwidth and distractions for the rest of the group. So we'd like to begin by just doing an overview of our program, the CalTAP program. Like I said, my name is Derek, and I serve as a training coordinator, United States Navy veteran. Very familiar with the transition process myself of, going back to school and being a student veteran and getting a job with the state of California. So it really is an honor to kind of come full circle and be a part of this program and present this information to other veterans and their family members as well. So thank you again for having us. So what exactly is the CalTAP program? As it says, it's designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their federal and state benefits and provide resources as those needs change over time, because we do know that not all veterans' needs are the same, right? So the needs of a post 9/11 veteran may not be the same needs as a Vietnam era veteran in relation to healthcare or housing services, for example. So the way that we've created our program is through our 5 key pathway programs, and you can see which each one of those are. Anything from our core curriculum, which is essentially Veterans Benefits 101. It's how do I file a disability compensation claim? How do I enroll in VA healthcare? How do I maintain or request all of my service records from the military? So, and our additional pathways. So our education, employment, which we're going to be diving a little bit more into specifically, entrepreneurship, and our service provider pathway. So if a veteran's transition is taking them into each one of those key areas, we've designed self-paced learning modules through our website to kind of help you get started. And we're going to kind of dive a little bit more specifically into the employment side for this presentation today. So in order to find our program and kind of get started navigating our resources, you can go to our main page. And you can find our CalTAP icon right down there, circled on the bottom right-hand side. And if you clicked on that, that will show you each one of those pathways that I mentioned. But for today, we kind of want to focus more specifically on the employment portion. So if you clicked on the employment portion, you can see each one of the modules. There's 8 learning modules in there that cover an array of different topics. Anything from, how to do an effective job search to interview tips and tricks and techniques, as well as more specifically how to get a job with the state of California and also with the federal government. So we dive a little bit deeper into the state employment process for this module, but you can see there's 8 helpful learning modules to kind of help you guide you in your job search and your interviewing skills and techniques, and kind of help you get started and plant that seed of information. So those other modules that I basically just touched on, they include how to kind of do a personal appraisal of your skills, and your career goals and your values, and how to really, which is really important, is how to translate that military experience into a civilian sector resume. And our guest speakers today also are going to have a wealth of information regarding those topics. So just kind of stand by, and I'm sure we can expand on that just a little bit more throughout the presentation. So some more specific benefits and programs that are offered here in the state of California as well. I did mention the state application process for veterans who want to work for the state of California. There's so many different agencies and organizations to work for the state of California. Basically anywhere in the state of California geographically offers a state job, and the state is very veteran friendly when it comes to its hiring practices. And a great program is that veterans do receive veterans preference when they apply for a state job. So what that veteran preference does, it automatically ranks you to the top of the eligibility list. So when you take your exam for a position with the state of California, you're ranked into a category, and no matter what you score on that exam, your veterans preference gives you the top ranking. So those are open for all open classifications, as well as promotional examinations. So the easiest way to get this certification and preference attached to your jobs profile, when you create a profile through CalJobs, is you'll submit this form that you see right here on the screen. You'll submit that to CalHR, and they will give you your veterans preference. Again, this is only for state jobs with the state of California, but it is a great benefit that is offered. Another great service is EDD. They work directly with veterans, specifically their Disabled Veterans Outreach Program. Also, our links are a great resource to connect with EDD services as well. They just really have that network and work with other service providers to help veterans and their families with employment services in the state. So lastly, I just wanted to just kind of do a brief overview of kind of what other benefits and services are offered to veterans in our state. I won't go in too much detail through each one of these, but this is just kind of a highlight. So as far as our educational programs, we do offer the college fee waiver for dependents of service-connected disabled veterans. This allows students to go to school tuition-free here in the state of California, as long as they are residents of the state of California. We offer the veterans driver's license designation, has the word veteran printed on your driver's license. Registration fee waivers for service-connected disabled veterans that have mobility impairment, hunting and fishing licenses, reduced fees for your state parks pass, a property tax exemption for veterans who are totally and permanently disabled through their county assessor's office, business license and tax and fee exemption. If you wanted to apply for a business license, you can have that fee waived. Our home loans program, which is a great program if you're interested in home ownership here in the state. Our women's and minority veterans division, specifically at our headquarters in Sacramento. They do great work with some of our underserved veteran communities and population. We also operate 8 Calvet veterans homes for long-term care. So if that time of need does come for a veteran, they can know, or their family can know, that they have eligibility for residency in a veteran's home. And Calvet also operates 3 state cemeteries. You may be familiar with the National VA Cemetery Administration, but the state also operates 3 as well. So this is just a real kind of high-level overview of just some of the benefits that are offered that you could be eligible for. So we just want to plant that seed of information to kind of make you aware of these services. So some other common veteran websites that you may be coming across in your transition or have already come across is VA. Of course, this is where you can go to apply for your health care, file your claims for disability, manage all of your records and apply for education benefits as well. My Health eVet, if you continue your healthcare through the VA, this is where you can go to refill your prescriptions, schedule your appointments, and manage all of your healthcare information as well. And we definitely like to stay in contact with you. So if you have, if you would like to stay in contact with CalTAP, you can always reach out to us and provide your non-DoD email to our CalTAP email right there on the screen. And we're also going to be highlighting a survey for you to take today as well. We do encourage your feedback. This really goes a long way in making sure we're giving all of the best information and relevant information to our veteran population. You can register for a profile on our website through My Calvet. This allows you to just create a personalized profile and stay up to date on benefits and services that may be unique to you. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms and attend all of our upcoming webinars. So we look forward to connecting with you, and feel free to reach out to us to stay updated on our program. So that was just a really quick overview of some of the benefits and services offered statewide. I want to make sure we have plenty of time for our guest speakers today. So again, my name is Derek Rose. If you have any questions, that's my email address. Feel free to reach out directly if you have questions, and I'll take all the time needed to speak with you. So thank you again for your time, and I'm going to go ahead and transition and introduce our link, Mr. Anthony Rodriguez with the Los Angeles region, and he'll speak to you a little bit more about some of the work he does. Anthony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that, and just want to compliment the CalTAP team on the professionalism on the way they present this CalTAP event. Always very professional. Thank you very much. So I am the local agency network coordinator. I am the regional field agent for the Los Angeles and the Ventura County area. Next page, please. And my job is to connect veterans to as many benefits as possible locally. I want to introduce you to our program. And as you can see, this colored map of California shows that there are 8 of us who do what I do. My particular area is the turquoise area toward the bottom, and I have responsibility for roughly 300,000 veterans who live in the area. We happen to have the largest number, one of the largest numbers of community colleges in the area, as well as Cal States. So there's a lot of veterans who attend those locations as well. But as you can see, there's also a link, someone who has my job in the Orange County area. In the green, we have San Diego and Imperial County areas. The Inland Empire from Riverside all the way up to Mono County area. We have a very fine link in the Central California area, the Central Coast area, the Bay Area, and in Northern California. So our jobs, next page please, as I mentioned, is to live locally and to know and work with many of the services which you as veterans may need. So while we do and know an awful lot about state CalVet benefits, we also make a point to know about a lot of the others. So we provide outreach to bases, service members, National Guard, reservists, those soon to exit. We make referrals to individuals. Jimmy Guevara and myself just came off a LA Veteran Collaborative meeting just before here. So that's another way for us to provide networks. We're a part of the local emergency network in California, the OES, and we provide leadership and advocacy locally when we're called to do so. Next page. As was mentioned, because we're local, we know a lot of the individual contacts. So EDD, we work very closely with the AJCCs. We work with a lot of the other state benefit agencies. Most of the benefits you're going to take advantage of with CalVet are going to be executed at the county veteran service offices. LA County happens to have a very large one with over 20 reps. And also we work very tightly and closely with the VA, vet centers, VBA, and the cemetery as well. Next page, please. This is my contact information. As I mentioned, I'm here local, ready to serve. That's my working cell. If I can help you, give me a call as well as my email. Thanks very much. I'll turn it back over to Derek.
Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the information as always. Thanks again.
You got it.
All right. So at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jed Bautista with College of the Canyons Employment Center and Veteran Job Developer. So with that, Jed, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Derek. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. I am going to be talking about College of the Canyons Veteran Employment Services. So next slide, please. Who am I? You can click through these. My name is Jed Bautista. I served in the Air Force as an aircraft mechanic on C-130s. I'm currently trying to pursue a career as a certified financial planner, and I'm currently working with the Employment Center in conjunction with the Veteran Resource Center as a veteran job developer. So as I was saying, I was an aircraft mechanic, and now I'm trying to become a financial planner. And I know a lot of veterans have issues with transitioning their military skills to a whole brand new skill. So that will bring us to our next slide. That was the plan I worked on. There's the services that we provide. So the big one that we provide is resume assistance. A lot of people, like Derek was saying earlier, have an issue with how to demilitarize their resumes to make it sound more civilian so that anyone can read it. We do that with the resume. We also decide if you need a functional resume, if you're doing a complete transition like I was. And we also look through, make sure that it fits the job descriptions that you guys are trying to go for. Another thing that we provide is job search. So here at COC, we have a service called Job Speaker. And with Job Speaker, it's initially like Indeed, but it's all the jobs that can go through COC and all around the local area. So we get those. Can we click through these? There's a couple more, yeah. Mock interviews is another thing that we do. I know that everyone has that issue when we go into the interviews, that you might get nervous. But here at the Employment Center and the Veteran Resource Centers, we can do a bunch of mock interviews until you feel comfortable with what your answers are going to be to common questions, and we can prep you for those. Job applications. These are some issues. There are some issues that people have sometimes with how to fill job applications, and we can be there right next to you filling out these job applications. Can we click the next one, please? LinkedIn profiles. A lot of things are going to the internet these days, so people really like the presence of employers really like the presence of their employees on LinkedIn profiles. You can get jobs through there, so we can help set you one up. If you already have one, we can look through it, make it sound more appealing to the employers. And then next one, please. So job fairs. We here at COC at the Employment Center occasionally have job fairs, and I'm going to talk about it more in our next slide, but can we click one more, please? All right, so one thing I have to mention is, in order to get most of these services, and I say most because there are some things that you don't need a student ID for, you need a COC student ID, which if you have any questions about obtaining that, it's very easy. You just have to do admissions, get accepted, and you can even take a non-credit class, play some basketball, and you'll have these services forever, even if you never come back to COC again. Next slide, please. So as I was talking about the job fair, we actually have one coming up this Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. All the information is there. I'll let you guys read through it for a second, but this is going to have over 70 employers looking for people to hire. You can meet and greet, you can create connections, you can have, you'll be able to meet me, I'll be there, so we can talk it through if you have any questions. And this is completely open to the public. So as I was mentioning earlier, you need a student ID for most of the services, but we do offer services to people who are not at COC and who do not have a student ID. So we have workshops, job fairs such as this. So please come and join us. And then next slide, please. So here's my contact information. My name is Jed Bautista. I'm the veteran job developer here at COC. I work in conjunction with the Veteran Center and the Employment Center. These are our hours. You can call that number and leave a message if you have any questions for me. And the best way to contact me is that email right there. So if there's no more questions or anything, I'm going to give it back to Derek. But thank you for your time, and I hope this was beneficial to all of you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jed. Really appreciate your time and information today. Thanks again. All right. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and transition and introduce our other guest speakers, Mr. Jimmy Guevara and Shante as well. And they can, I think both are going to kind of team up on our next portion. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you both. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Hi, everyone. My name is Shante Conliffe. I'm the operation manager for JVS SoCal's Veteran Service Division. So today I'm just going to be giving a brief overview of the services JBS has to offer veterans in the Southern California area. Next slide. JBS Veteran Service Divisions provides high quality comprehensive career and social services to veterans throughout Southern California, mainly LA County, but then also surrounding counties. Next slide. Many of our team members are veterans themselves, and together we are uniquely qualified to assist you in the transitioning from military to civilian life and into the workplace. Next slide. We have several offices throughout LA County. San Gabriel Valley, downtown, West LA, Antelope Valley. We also provide services to veterans residing in Orange County, San Bernardino, with the emphasis in Ontario. We partner with Ontario Library and Ventura County. Next slide. We have special programs that focus on veterans transitioning back from the military, homeless, low-income veteran, and disabled veterans. However, our doors are open to all veterans at different stages. Next slide. Okay, so just a brief overview of our services. So our veteran services, we mainly have employment service, and we also have a peer support program. And we currently operate LA County's Veteran American Job Center. And in that center, our goal is to provide quality employment services to veterans who are LA County residents. So we have job fairs, recruitment, but then also we provide vocational training and also help veterans prep for their job search. We currently operate through the Department of Labor, a homeless veteran reintegration program, and that focus is on providing training to veterans who are either homeless or at risk of homelessness. So we're really trying to connect veterans to employment opportunities in high growth sectors. VPAN. Jimmy, he'll be talking a little bit more about VPAN. VPAN is through the Department of Mental Health, the Veteran Payer Access Network, and that program is providing wraparound services to veterans, connecting them to community resources. So it could be you need help with transportation, you need glasses, or you need to be connected to the VA to upgrade your claims. But it's an amazing program that really helps our team be able to provide deeper services to veterans here in LA County. And finally, we have a veteran employment accelerated program through the state, and that program focuses on vocational training. And in a little bit, I'll be talking about what kind of training we have available for vets. Next slide. Yeah, you can skip this one. All right, so overview of our employment services. So our team provides individual job development, meaning individuals that are enrolled, they have a career coach that works with them and partners with them to address any barriers that they may have that's preventing them from attaining employment. And that could be lack of certification, revising your resume, improving your interview skills, needing help with transportation. So our team really works with each veteran on our caseload to address those barriers. We provide vocational training. All of our training is free. We help pay for professional certifications, resume development, conducting mock interviews. And we also partner with local employers where we host recruitment and pre-screenings. So for example, right now we're partnering with Northrop Grumman to pre-screen individuals who may be interested in working at their location in Palmdale. We also partner with employers to provide on-the-job training, which is paid. This gives veterans the opportunity to learn how to do a job while getting a check. So that's always a good thing. And then finally, we provide supportive service assistance. So for example, if there's a veteran who needs a professional certification, but you can't afford the exam or the prep course, our team's able to see if we're able to support that cost. Next slide. Okay, so this is just a highlight of some of our career pathways. So when we're sending our veterans to training, we are looking to connect them to high growth sectors. And what that means is that there's actual jobs available. So we're making an investment. So we want to make sure that if someone spends 2 weeks to 3 months in training, that there's actually jobs available. So our common trainings we're sending veterans are project management, transportation. So if you want to get your commercial driver's license, executive protection, security, healthcare, and information technology. So those are just highlights. As long as there's a job available and there's a training, we're definitely going to pursue. So this isn't just the exclusive list. We sent veterans to other types of trainings as well. Next slide. So I'm just going to highlight some of our current training cohorts we have going on. So right now we're partnering with Northrop Grumman for their military university in the Antelope Valley. We are hosting a non-destructive testing training. And just briefly, non-destructive testing means you're evaluating items to see if they may not work appropriately. So it could be examining a bridge, it could be examining an airplane wing or engine. So non-destructive testing is something that can be used in a variety of different fields. So with this training opportunity, the training is actually taking place at one of Northrop's sites. This is a great opportunity for veterans who's looking to get into the aviation field, but in particularly specializing in non-destructive testing. The training is starting March 21st. So if you are interested, I know later on in the presentation, you can contact our email and we'll set you up to talk to one of our staff members about the training. Next slide. A next major project is our office is partnering with Microsoft to provide cloud administration training. It's called Azure Fundamentals Administration. We're using Microsoft's current curriculum that they use for active duty military members and bringing it to locally here in LA County to give veterans the opportunity to train to become a cloud administrator. This class is starting May 23rd. We're going to be hosting informational soon. So if you're interested in learning more about this great opportunity, please reach out to our office. Next slide. And then I'm just going to highlight 2 more training opportunities. We also, one of our more popular training is Lean Six Sigma. So Lean Six Sigma is a methodology that's used to see how to make a program, department, or system more efficient, cut costs. So definitely on a manager level, this is something that's really vital to help someone in that position. So this training is focusing on Greenbelt. So we continuously have a cohort for Lean Six Sigma. This is, but a lot of our veterans are interested in this training. And next slide. Finally, just example of our healthcare. We're currently hosting a phlebotomy cohort training, and that is ongoing, but I believe we're looking for individuals to start in April. And then finally, the next slide, we do partner with a lot of different local employers. One of our major employers is SoCalGas. Twice a month, we are hosting informationals that's highlighting how veterans can potentially get a job with SoCalGas. So we're talking about some of their more common job openings, what are the steps to apply to be successful, and individuals that attend the informationals. If you apply, our team has direct contact with SoCalGas to kind of check to see where you are in the process, whether you're being considered. And then also too, SoCalGas notifies us when they have openings. So we share that information with individuals who are enrolled in our program. So that's a brief highlight of some of our projects that we have going on. But if you want more information, definitely please reach out to our office. And now on the next slide, Jimmy, he's going to talk briefly about the Veteran Payer Access Network.
Thank you, Shante. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jimmy Guevara. I am the Veteran Peer Access Network Program Manager. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, served from 2002 to 2006. So with that, I'm just going to carry on. So next slide, please. So pretty much what the Veteran Peer Access Network is a program coming out of the LA County Department of Mental Health. And the whole concept behind it is pretty much all our team is all vets, helping vets, knowing how to live that path, walking that path, especially with navigating a lot of complex systems in the LA County area. We cover District 5, pretty much anything from all the way from Antelope Valley to Santa Clarita, all the way down to Pasadena, and so forth, right? The beauty of it is that when a lot of our peers have that lived experience and actually understand how it's like to navigate some of these complex systems. So our peers will go out and actually be able to help you and actually navigate some of the complexities, like receiving benefits, who to talk to about, it's more of a connecting service of being able to connect you to not only with veteran employment and so forth. So let's next slide, please. So in the next slide, this is kind of some of the services that we connect a lot of our veterans, but not only our veterans, but are also family members as well. Anybody that and it doesn't necessarily have to be an honorable discharge to be part of the program. You can have a dishonorable discharge, and we try to connect that veteran still with services as across the board. Might not be VA eligible, but we could find other methods around it with our partners in the community. So as you can see, there's a list right here showing that we provide everything from mental health, substance abuse, housing, workforce development, which is this is the beauty about working with JVS. And our thing is that we have a lot of our in-house employment. We could just directly send it to like Shantae's and the rest of the department on the AGCC, HVRP, and all the other programs she mentioned. We also connect a lot of rental healthcare, education, legal service, and so forth. Now, the beauty of it with the mental health side of things, we also work in collaboration with the Department of Mental Health. So a lot of times, if there's a veteran in crisis or having, or going through something in life, they'll be able to connect them and find them resources. Same with housing. A lot of times we could connect them if the veteran has ability to, if the veteran qualifies for the programs like SSVF and everything else, which, we will be able to connect them and actually have that communication. But not only are we walking the veteran to the steps, we're also kind of doing a lot of peer mentorship in the process of this is what they're asking for. These are the paperwork that they need to be able to qualify you, and at the same time being able to do the mental health side of things as well at the same time. Sometimes if a veteran in crisis, we have a DMH team that go out and actually try to understand and do an assessment to a lot of our veterans as well. On the educational side, this is why the partnership on the educational side. A lot of times we would refer to not only to our local community colleges, which I'm partnering with Renard Thomas and the whole College of the Canyon team makes sense, right? Because a lot of times we might not have the answers. We definitely know that we'll go to the leading experts, which is everybody at COC for sure. And then also we partner with our local VSOs, so the veteran service officers that do a lot of the benefits and everything. So if anything you need to do like a claim or anything, we could lead you to the person that is able to do that as well in this section. As far as that pretty much does a lot of different other things. We also provide like the social connection, the recreation, finding those groups that if you're isolated, where did you go with those? And same with transportation and other needs that the veteran might need to get them stable and be back to what their normality looks like, because for every veteran looks different, of course. That pretty much is a quick overview of what the Veteran Peer Access Network does. But the beauty is we use a platform called Unite Us. So whenever we intake a veteran, we're connecting ourselves to a whole network of community members that are trying to support it. And like Shantae said, we are a wraparound service where we're able to walk them through the steps. And we've actually had many successes with our program so far. This is one of the first ever community-driven support networks. So we're just serving not only veterans, but their families as well. Besides that, next slide, please. This is how you could contact us. On the JVS side, for employment services, the email is, as you can see, is up there, is at veterans@jvs/socal.org. And then anything has to do with VPAN, like anything that has to do with Veteran Peer Access Network, anything like with peer support or anything, or even just connecting or finding resources in your community, you can always reach us at vpan@jbs-socal.org. Other than that, we also have a website that you're able to see as well at jbs.socal.org, and you can find a lot of this information as well. And there's also even a place where you go, like if you have any further questions or you want to get in contact with us through email, then you can also go to that website and it'll direct you straight to us, and we'll take that intake and we'll give you a call within the next 48 hours. Other than that, give or take, of course, depending on our workload. Just I don't. Sometimes it gets a little extra heavy or something. But other than that, that's what I have at the moment. Next slide, and I'll take it back to Derek. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much. And Shantae, that was really just outstanding information all the way across the board. Really useful, really relevant, and much needed. So thanks again for joining us today. We really, really, truly appreciate it. Okay, let me check in with Damon.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Let me make you a co-host real quick of this meeting.
Okay.
That should allow you camera access.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
Roger that. All
So
right.
I'll just turn it over to you, Damon. The floor is yours.
Roger that. I appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Damon Oliver. I'm with the organization Work for Warriors. And we are a military organization that we started in 2012, is run by the state, funded by the state. And our job is to make sure that there are no veterans family members, sisters, cousins, whatever the case may be, are not unemployed or underemployed. All right. So that is our mission. What we do is we go out there and we partner with different organizations. For an example, we partner with Amazon. We partner with AAA, Northrop Grumman, a lot of organizations that are patriotic and willing to help our organization and help our veterans. Next slide. All right. So our mission, what is our mission? Our mission is to go and make sure, like I said, no veteran or their family members are underemployed or unemployed, right? So the eligible who we have personally, if you're a veteran, your family member a veteran, your cousin is a family member and they need help, we are here to help. We will help out anyone, right? So that is our mission, just to make sure that our veteran community get help that they need, because everyone will make that sacrifice when you out on that front line helping out. So we help anyone that we can. Next slide. All right, how can we help? So if you reach out to me, you get on our website, workforwarriors.org, or if you was to call the phone, call our hotline or call my number. The way it works is you'll be connected, for example, here in the Los Angeles area, you'll be connected with me. So we'll go over, I'll look at your resume, see what your mission is. What is what is your dream job, right? What is your career that you want to be into, right? So then we go over that, we look into your resume. And then once we look at your resume and say, okay, well, these are the positions that I have based off your resume and based off what you want to do, right? And then we go there and say, okay, let's dive a little deeper into that resume and say, hey, let's look at the job description that you are interested in and see, we might have to critique your resume a little bit, right? So making sure that you have what they're looking for. So once I do that, and then I partner up with the organizations that I have, and then I'm calling someone. So what's unique about our program is I cannot have a job on my job board that I don't know the hiring manager. So if you see a job on my job board, that means we know the hiring manager, and your resume is going to go straight to the front with the rest of the veterans, and you're going to look at that. They're going to look at your resume. And then once they look at your resume, I'm calling them, say, hey, what feedback did you have for this veteran or their family member? And then I call you back and say, okay, this is the status. This is an update based off of them looking at your resume. So I think that is, phenomenal, that you don't have to go into this big old black hole the rest of other resumes, and you can go straight to the front. So we also do workshops. We do hiring events. a lot of times you go out to the job fairs, you'll see us all set up as well. So, you know, you're looking for us, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we all on these social media platforms as well. Next slide. All right, where are we at? So we are all over California. So I am here in the Los Angeles area. However, we cover the whole state of California. So I like to deal with personnel here because I'm more sociable and I like to meet, you know, hey, let's go to Starbucks, let's meet, let's talk about that resume. Let's see, you know, I can get a feel for you and then I can better describe you and talk about you when I talk to my clients when they doing their hiring, right? So however, if you know someone is in Fresno or whatever the case may be, then we do have VSCs or my counterparts that's in Fresno, Sacramento, Riverside. You know, we all over the place. So we cover all of California. Next slide. All right, so I was telling you earlier, these are some of the organizations that we link up with and we work with, right? So again, what I like about these organizations is they put trust in us and we, you know, they put on our job board. We have over 2,200 jobs that's on our job board, right? So obviously, you know, for an example, Amazon, they might have 50 other jobs, right? Waste management might have another 10 or 15 jobs, right? So I encourage you, I always tell people the best time to look for a job is while you have a job. And you don't have to take the first job that come along. You can be a little picky, right? And you know, you don't be stuck in a corner and take the first thing come on and that's not paying you what you want to be paid for. So this is the best time. So I always trying to progress in your career. And these are some of the ones that we partner with. Next slide. All right, so unique opportunities. A lot of people don't know this. When you get out, we have what they call California State Military Reserve, and you don't have to. You can be out the military, and you can still put the uniform on, but it's all volunteer, right? And then, say for an example, you see a job that we call state active duty, and you're not affiliated with the military anymore. You can join what we call the state military reserve, and then you can still get a job with a state active duty position by volunteering, right? So that's one of the unique opportunities that we provide as well. And if you don't want more information about that, you can reach out to me as well. Next slide. All right, so connect with us. Even if you're not looking for a job, or if you just want to browse our job board, just do that. Just see what we have. We may have a job that's closer to you, that you won't have to commute as much. We may have a job that you're paying a little more money that you're already currently receiving. We may have something for one of your family members. So these are some of the ways you can connect with us. So if you have any questions, just Work for Warriors. If you just type in Work for Warriors, Google it, our name is all over the place and will come up. Next slide. All right, this is the actual our website. And then if you see something, so the way it works is if you see it on our job board, just drop your resume there when you apply for it. And then you can also put your email address. And then if we have jobs, say for instance, you looking for a job field that we don't have, and you put your email down, and as soon as something come up that's in your category, you will automatically get an email and stating that we have that job. And then again, we more that connection where you can talk to us, you can pick up the phone and talk to us, and we can tell you about the job that you're applying for, that you're looking into. All right. So any questions? Again, my name is Damon Oliver. I do this all day. I enjoy doing this. This is a passion for mine. I love having veterans out. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Well, and thank you, sir.
Damon, that was outstanding. Really appreciate it. Job well done. Really thank you for your partnership, Work for Warriors partnership. We couldn't do a lot of this without you guys. So thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it. Is this your correct contact information? And if not, would you mind putting that in the chat before we conclude today, Damon?
Yes, roger that. I'll do that right now. I'll put my cell phone number in the chat. You call me anytime.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, everyone. So that concludes our presenters for today. So now we're going to allow some time for any questions that may have come in our Q&A box. Also, these are all of our contacts for today. I have some email addresses and phone numbers on there as well. But if any one of you wants to include your contact information again in our chat, please feel free to do so as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague, Michael, who's been monitoring our chat and Q&A. Michael, do we have any questions to address by any chance?
No, there wasn't any questions in the Q&A tab as of right now.
I am opening up one question here that I do see in there. This might be specific for JVS, and maybe some of our other panelists can see that as well. It says, is there a JVS veteran service program other than in Southern California? It is good to know there is funding for certification and training. The veterans I serve do not live down there. So maybe one of our subject matter experts can answer that a little more specifically.
So that would be great if there was, if JVS did operate. So through our VEEP grant, which is through the state, we are able to provide training services to veterans who live outside of LA County, but we usually say the surrounding counties because we want to be able to still be able to help those veterans after they're done with training, find them employment. So if they're like in San Bernardino, Orange County, Ventura, Kern County, and they're interested in training, we do have available funding to help them with training. There is, if it's Northern California, I do know there's a JVS in Northern California, I think in the San Francisco area, but that's a separate entity. However, they do employment services. And so they may be able to assist as well.
Great.
I just wanted to comment that if we could find out more specifically what or where the individuals live, then probably myself or one of the other links are probably going to know some agencies like JVS locally.
Perfect. Thank you all. And one more question came in, kind of a best resource to just kind of get started making a resume. So I do know that maybe Damon and our other guest speakers may have a good starting point. I did kind of mention getting started on our pathway programs on our website as well to kind of go over that with you, but I know Damon probably sees a bunch of resumes all the time. So maybe you can touch on kind of how to get started making that master resume and then maybe going from there, Damon.
Roger that, and that's a great question. So first, let me let you know that depending on who you talk to, everyone have a different idea on what a resume looks like, right? So there's no right or wrong way. But what I always like to tell my candidates when I talk to them is when you deal with these different, like if you deal with like for me in my jobs, I know what my customer is looking for, right? So I'm gonna tell you how to fix your resume based off of what my customers are looking for, right? Now, let me give you some inside scoop. There's times where you have not worked for a long period of time, say a year or two, right? And you've been at school for a while. So I always tell them, if you've been in school for the last couple of years, put your education first on your top line, because they can tell if you put your work time there first, they're gonna like, oh, what has he been doing all that time, right? And then it's like, oh, well, since you've been in school, put your education first and then put your work experience, and vice versa. If you know that your work experience fits the job and that's going to give you brownie points for that job, then put your work experience first, right? So, but there's a lot of different formats out there. I always, kind of Google the format. If you Google a format on the resume, you're going to see 20, 30 different formats, right? So there's really like no right or wrong way. Just make sure that you don't make it real lengthy, like, 4 pages, because they're not going to look at that. Remember, for my customers, they looking at like your page 1, and that's it. Now, I mean, they going to kind of go to page 2, but they want you to grab them right away on like the first things that they see your objective and the jobs that you have, and how do them words, them sticking points that they're looking for. Make sure you have them words in it. So, and the last thing I say, I always have them look at the job description for the job that you're applying for, and make sure that you try to tailor your resume for that job that you are looking for on that job description, right? So for me, when I was job searching, this is job looking for a job, I had like 5, 6 different formats on resumes based off what I was looking for. So, but you can talk to me one-on-one. We can talk more about it if you like. But again, last thing is you are going to have multiple people tell you multiple things. So don't be frustrated if someone tell you different than the last person.
Outstanding. Thank you, Damon, for that. I would also like to piggyback off that and maybe just kind of say, get started doing a comprehensive list of your experience in education, right? Maybe all of your past positions, and then you can kind of review that. And just like Damon said, you want to take all of that information and then tailor it to the actual job you're applying for. And I do know through our website and through CalJobs, there's a great military skills translator. So maybe if you're struggling kind of connecting those dots and how to reword things to make it more civilian friendly, there's a bunch of great tools to help you do that. I think if you just Google military skills translator as well, it'll give you some great resources. So just everything that Damon said is outstanding too. And I'm sure that they can help you if you want to get started specifically. So good question.
Yeah. Also, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So through the COC website, we have, if you go on the Employment Center under the A to Z thing, we have templates that you can start off. So like Derek said, I would start off with gathering everything you've done and then using these possible templates and then just throwing everything on there to what Damon said, what's equivalent to the job description that's showing up. So use any of these resources. You don't need a student ID for that. You could just hop onto the website, grab that template, and then go for it from there. But
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you all for chiming in. Really appreciate it. So if there are any more questions, feel free to take a screenshot of this information here and reach out to anybody specifically if you'd like to follow up. I do also want to kind of highlight some of the webinars we have through the rest of the month. We're going to be hosting some more topic-specific webinars. Really through the month of March is more geared towards our mental health outreach and services. So we do encourage you to follow us along and to register for these events coming up. And I think at the end of the month, we're going to be coming back with College of the Canyons to speak about compensation and pension in relation to service-connected disabilities. So this just kind of shows, kind of the wide range of topics that we cover, not just employment, but just veteran services in general. So, thank you for joining us today and hope to see you again on one of our webinars in the future. And I'd also like to give one more plug for our program evaluation and our survey. This is just a QR code if you have your smartphone handy to just pull up your camera and just take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to just fill this out. This really goes a long way for our program development and making sure that we're coming on these webinars and really giving you useful information going forward. So also just want to say thank you again to all of our guest speakers. Renard, College of the Canyons, thank you for having us. Shantae, Jed, Jimmy, Anthony, Damon, thank you all again. You guys are all outstanding. I think this was really great. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you for your service. And we hope to see you all again. And with that, take care. All right.